This is Valley News Live at noon.
New for you at noon. An armed and dangerous man who had been on the run for weeks is now in jail. Authorities say the Metro Street Crimes Unit and U.S. Marshals helped get 21-year-old Oliver Ty off the streets. Ty was wanted for attempted murder, reckless endangerment, and aggravated assault in connection to a shooting at the Arbors on January 24th. Now, police say Ty was located and taken into custody last night in Fargo. Now, many could see a few raindrops this week, while others could even see snow. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green on this First Alert Weather Day.
Good morning. Yes, today we are watching some snow moving into parts of the valley, and more of us will see those snow chances increase as we continue on into the afternoon. Here's one of our locations that has seen some snow since this morning. This is in the New Rockford area along Highway 281. The road surface actually looking a little bit better. There was a while where it was covered quite a bit, and all we saw were tire tracks. Now we've seen some more of that road get exposed. And we're going to build up more snow in that area and other spots too. We had an initial line move into southeastern North Dakota. That's moved eastward, and then there is a looming area of snow up to the north and a couple of pockets in southeastern North Dakota where we're seeing some flakes on the radar there, western parts of Dickey County yet again. And looking up northward, that's that main area of snow over by Devil's Lake and points west and south from there, and that's going to start dropping to the south and east as it works through here for today, and we'll start to add up more snowfall in addition to some of those places that have already seen a little bit here yet today. So this system going to continue to affect us this afternoon. We are looking at temperatures though that are approaching freezing or even rising above. So that's going to have a factor to mitigate snowfall amounts. You know, we could see some melting, we could see some compaction of that snow, or maybe those roads getting pretty slushy where we start adding up the snowfall here yet again for today. So we want to watch out for that this afternoon and into tonight. Winter weather advisory in effect for basically the heart of the Red River Valley, from Devil's Lake to Jamestown, Grand Forks to Fargo, and then back over into parts of Minnesota as well. And that continues into tonight. So we're going to have details on the timing of this, when we'll watch it move out, and just how much snow we can expect coming up in just a couple of moments.
We'll stay tuned with you so we can get all those updates. Thank you again, Lisa. Well, our recent cold temps and then sudden warming has claimed a water main victim in North Fargo. Authorities learned of a water main break along 7th Street and 6th Avenue North. Now, as I was on scene this morning, I saw water spewing up from the sidewalk and flooding the nearby street. Now, there's still no update on whether utility crews have started working to fix it yet. The search continues for a suspect following a weekend shooting in downtown Fargo. Police considered 43-year-old Brandon Grant armed and dangerous. They say if you do see him, don't approach him. Call 911 immediately. He's no stranger to law enforcement. Grant was involved in an hours-long standoff near NDSU in September 2019 and did just under a year in prison for that. Bartenders tell U.S. Grant was banned a long time ago, but the Bismarck Tavern downtown, which is where 3 people were shot early Sunday morning. Police say the victims are still in the hospital. North Dakota man accused of feeding moldy hay and denying water to numerous horses that wounded up dead or sick has now been charged with felony animal cruelty. Mercer County deputies found 15 dead horses and 11 dead fowls over the weekend on Shannon Wiegum's property in Zap Out on Mercer County. They also found a donkey and 39 horses in poor condition, as well as 4 dead lambs. The governors of North Dakota and Minnesota are directing government agencies to fly the U.S. and state flags at half-staff in memory of more than 500,000 Americans who died from COVID-19. Now, the orders are effective immediately and go until sunset Friday. They're in accordance with President Biden's request. Individuals, businesses, and other organizations also are encouraged to join in lowering their flags. As the nation remembers the 500,000 lives lost to COVID-19, there is an urgent push with vaccine distribution to regain ground lost last week with weather delays. And at what once was the epicenter of the pandemic, new signs of hope and the beginnings of a new normal. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez is in Brooklyn, New York, with the latest on the fight against COVID-19.
A moment of silence, heard loudly. As he paused to acknowledge the more than 500,000 Americans taken by COVID-19, President Biden is warning the fight against the virus is far from over.
Let this not be a story of how far we fell, but of how far we climbed back up. We can do this.
On the vaccine front, officials say by midweek, the country will have caught up to the 6 million doses delayed because of winter weather. But some super sites like San Diego's Petco Park, nowhere near the storm, are still shut down because of no supply. Governors across the country are frustrated.
We just need that supply from the federal government.
As more and more Americans line up for their shot, new hope that a return to normal is near. At the forefront, getting America's kids back into the classroom. A new CDC study warns that teachers and staff may play a central role in transmitting the virus in the schools where social distancing and mask rules aren't followed. And as for the emerging variants, the FDA says modified versions of already authorized vaccines made to fight new strains may be approved without needing a long clinical trial. The steady progress against the virus leading to signs of life at Brooklyn's Barclays Center, one of several New York City venues opening up this week, nearly a year after shutting down. How much of a game changer is this?
It's huge.
Nets CEO John Evamondi tells us only 300 fans will be allowed in tonight as a test run, all required to wear masks, socially distance, and have taken a COVID PCR test less than 72 hours beforehand. Then, after a temperature screening and a rapid test, a green light to enter.
It's a massive building, and we're used to having close to 20,000 people in here, so we're going to have a lot less than that, but I think it's the first step, and we're really excited about it.
And a key part of reopening will be ventilation. The Nets CEO says that this arena can turn over the air inside of it several times every hour. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, New York.
The Prime Minister of Canada will join President Joe Biden for their first bilateral meeting, but it will be held virtually. The two North American leaders are expected to discuss the coronavirus response, climate change, and economic ties between Canada and the U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris will join the meeting as well. President Biden's cabinet will also be meeting with Canadian ministers to discuss other bilateral and global issues. Home prices skyrocketed more than 10% in December. Now, according to the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, prices increased 10.4%. That's the fastest pace in 7 years. Phoenix, Seattle, and San Diego continue to show the strongest price gains among the 19 cities surveyed. Home prices began to see big gains last summer as COVID-driven demand descended on the housing market. Record low supply combined with record low mortgage rates caused bidding wars on homes across the nation. This weekend, Gray Media, which owns Valley News Live, is partnering with the Grand Ole Opry to help bring in donations to Feeding America to help those who have been affected that is, by various disasters. Chris Jansen, Travis Tritt, and Haley Witters are some of the artists that will appear. The show will air live this Saturday on KVLY and KXJB at 8 at night. The Bisons are on the road this weekend as they take on Southern Illinois for their second game of the spring season this Saturday. The pregame show starts at 11 and will take you all the way to kickoff, scheduled for noon. You can catch all the action on KVLY. Well, coming up at noon, researchers are looking into whether or not rolling out of bed and working is good for you or bad for you. And on this First Alert Weather Day, what should we expect? Weather Up next to plan your day with meteorologist Lisa Green.